They got nothing to do with me. I'm trying to play basketball. Y'all come here every day, ask me about free agency, ask my teammates, my coaches. You rile up the fans about it. Let us play basketball. That's all I'm saying.
Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that Kevin Durant is in fact headed to Brooklyn to join Kyrie Irving and DeAndre Jordan.
And now he's the head coach, you know, and I think it's also going to change the way we see coaches. I don't really see us having a head coach. You know what I mean? Like KD could be a head coach. I could be a head coach.
Jacques Vaughn could do it one day. It's a collaborative effort, I think, on our part.
Never seen anything like this before, which is why I believe that by outbidding the Philadelphia 76ers for James Harden, the unbelievable Brooklyn Nets, I never even thought I'd see a team in Brooklyn, but the Brooklyn Nets are going to win a championship this year or next year or maybe both.
I'm going to need some size for sure. Yeah. I'm going to need some size and some defense in the interior. Yeah. Especially with Giannis and LeBron James playing such great basketball this year. I need somebody to offset that, so I'm going to go with Rudy Gobert.
I agree. That worked out nicely for you. That worked out nicely.
And a sweep. Boston, 4 in a row. After they lost in 5 to the Nets last year, they answer back with their 8th series sweep in franchise history, last done in the bubble against the Sixers. And Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant head into the offseason. Not a single game decided by more than 7 points. But all 4 belong to the Boston Celtics. And now they will await the winner of the Milwaukee-Chicago series.
Massive breaking news just in. According to our Adrian Wojnarowski, literally 4 minutes ago, tweeting this. Brooklyn Nets GM Sean Marks is working with Kevin Durant and his business manager Rich Kleiman on finding a trade for the franchise star. Apparently Durant requested a trade from the Nets today.
Alright, so Kevin Durant demanded a trade. And honestly, looking back at this, we should not be surprised, but of course we all are. Because this Brooklyn Nets fiasco has been insane since the beginning of the fiasco. And that doesn't just start this year, it doesn't start last year, but it starts when Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving joined the Brooklyn Nets. And a part of me actually feels bad for the Brooklyn Nets because they did everything you could do right in this scenario outside of a couple of things that we're going to get to later because they're not completely blameless. But when you talk about blame, there's only one person that Kevin Durant should be blaming as far as why he's in the situation that he's in, and that is Kevin Durant himself. But before we get started with this video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and press that bell for post notifications. Now let's get back to this KD scenario, and I can't lie, this news still hit me like a truck. I was with my homies chilling, eating some Wingstop, then bam, I see the news of Kevin Durant demanding a trade from the Nets from Shams. I deadass could not believe the news. By the way, big ups to Shams because he just washed Woj in day 1 of free agency. But back to KD. Let's go back to the summer of 2016 when Kevin Durant had the biggest decision of his life. Should he leave OKC, an organization that he's given his all to for almost a decade, gone to a finals, won an MVP, teamed up with Russell Westbrook, and in the process he was one of the most loved players in the NBA at the time. But unfortunately, we all know how this story goes. He leaves the Oklahoma City Thunder. Even though they lost 3-1 to the Golden State Warriors, he had no problem joining that exact team of Golden State in the Bay. Fast forward, they win a couple championships, he wins some finals MVPs, puts up some historic numbers in the finals, and now he gets hurt against the Toronto Raptors in the finals, tears his Achilles I might add, and is now at another crossroads in free agency. Now a lot of people just think that it's so easy for Kevin Durant to just stay in Golden State or leave Golden State. You're either on one side of the fence or the other. And me personally, I understand both sides. It is not an easy decision for KD in that offseason to leave a championship team that you know when y'all are fully healthy there's nobody that can beat y'all, while in the process everybody is just saying they don't need you, your rings don't count, these are asterisk championships, or go to a team that yes you don't have the stacked deck but it's probably going to be good because you build a solid roster there. It's not like you're going to the Pistons or something, and if you win a championship there, guess what, your legacy is going to go through the roof just like LeBron's did in 2016. You'll finally have that that moment where people are going to be like, man, KD is the best player in the NBA. He quote unquote got it out the mud for this ring. You get those extra brownie points that you have needed your entire career. Hell, you could even go team up with Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers. Let's not forget that was an opportunity, as they had 2 max slots and Kawhi was asking any and everybody before he got to PG. But no, KD then decides to, yes, leave Golden State, but not team up with Kawhi in LA, but team up with Kyrie Irving in New York. No, not the Knicks, but the Nets. Now, to be fair, at the time, I actually thought this was a solid duo. I didn't know about them winning a championship, but I definitely thought they were going to be contenders for years to come. But unfortunately, Kyrie did what Kyrie usually does, and he went all Kyrie on the situation. First, after you get rid of Kenny Atkinson, you bring in Steve Nash, the new head coach. It's his first job, and what does Kyrie say? Man, we don't need a head coach. I could be the head coach. KD could be the head coach. Nice way to undermine his authority before he even does a single thing. Then let's not forget the first year of Kyrie being there when Kevin Durant was injured with his Achilles injury. Kyrie just essentially said, I'm gonna take this year off. I mean, I know I got hurt and I could come back, but I'm cool, man. I'm cool. I'm gonna just wait for KD. And hey, power to you. Go ahead and do that. But what happens after that? He comes back the next year and they're playing pretty well to start off the season. And Kyrie then takes off for personal reasons. And in the process is caught without a mask at his sister's birthday party. And hey, we all have family matters, but your actions have consequences. But thank God the Nets had the ability to trade for James Harden. I mean, just imagine what would have happened in the 2021 season with Kyrie missing games for personal reasons, Kevin Durant missing a good chunk of the year due to an injury. I mean, the Nets would have been in some real tough shit if it wasn't for James Harden coming to the team and putting up some MVP caliber numbers in the process. But what then happens in the playoffs? Kyrie Irving gets injured. Because you know a Kyrie season is never complete unless you sprinkle in another injury. That's the story of his career. Say controversial stuff, take games off, then get injured in the playoffs or stink it up. Unless LeBron James is there, that's typically how it goes for Kyrie every year. Because the next year, as they were ready for Scary Hours Part 2, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden, what then happens? Kyrie decides to not get the vaccine. And look, I understand it's all personal choice, but like I keep saying, all of your actions will always have consequences, and in the state of New York, he could not play any home games. So we were all questioning, man, is Kyrie gonna be a part-time player? And the Nets said, hell no, we're not doing that shit. We're putting our foots down. You cannot play any games. But once they saw that roster looked thin as hell, KD was getting banged up, Harden was struggling, not looking like his old self, they picked up the phone and said, hey Kyrie, we're sorry bro, we're back on our knees for you bro, please come save us. But by then it was too late. Harden wanted out, so you move him for Ben Simmons, who can't play because of his mental issues. But thankfully you have the most skilled duo in NBA history, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. They're available because now the mandate is lifted and Kyrie can play all the games. Look out, championship, here we come. Oh no, here come the Boston Celtics with the sweep in the first round. And not only does Kyrie stink it up outside of game 1, but Kevin Durant has the worst series of his entire career. That man got hit with doubles, got hit with elbows, got hit with rights, lefts, uppercuts, and it hurt him so bad that he was like, yeah, I don't think I can do this anymore. KD only played 2 years with the Nets, and then he came to the realization, yeah, it's just not working out. It ain't you, it's me. And yeah, KD, it is you. Trust me, Kyrie Irving, if anybody deserves the most blame for this Nets thing going down the way it is, he definitely gets most of it. But if we're talking about Kevin Durant specifically, he definitely deserves most of the blame for his own situation. You're the one that let Twitter trolls get to you to the point that you left a dynasty in Golden State. And yes, they won without you, but there was still that question of, can they beat LeBron James with you? And that answer was obviously a no. You could have been stacking up finals MVPs while Steph Curry had none. And we would have gave you that edge as, hey man, maybe he's just the better player on this team. Some people would still question it, but at least you would have a sound argument. Well, right now, your argument looks like it's in the drain. It's been proven over the last couple of years who's better between Steph and KD, and I think the answer is clearly Steph Curry. And anyone that thinks that KD isn't insecure his own self, I got some news for you. You're wrong. I don't care much about him arguing with fans on Twitter on his account. I actually like that if I'm being honest. But the fact that he was making burner accounts to defend himself is still insane to me. You are a professional athlete with generational wealth, and you're out there making KD is great 4427 accounts to defend yourself? Come on, bruh. you are a grown-ass man. And from that very moment, I started to understand who KD was. He's a superstar that just doesn't have superstar intangibles. He himself has come out and said, I am not a leader. I am not the face of the franchise. And honestly, I understand that. Some guys are meant to lead, some guys are meant to follow. And KD has the talent to warrant him being a leader on a championship team. But unfortunately, he just doesn't have that leadership mentality. And sure, you could say things were out of Kevin Durant's control in Brooklyn, like Kyrie Irving not playing due to the vaccination status, James Harden getting injured, Kyrie Irving getting injured, him getting injured. But guess what? You chose to leave Golden State. You chose to not go to the Clippers with Kawhi Leonard. You chose to play with Kyrie Irving, who just burned down 2 organizations, including one with LeBron James and a team that was just in the finals this year. You chose Steve Nash as your head coach because he was your consultant in Golden State. The same Steve Nash that him and Kyrie said they don't need because they could do the job by themselves. And mind you, I haven't even addressed what happened on the court in the playoffs over the last 2 years, because Kyrie, say what you want about him, he wasn't the reason why KD went out there and shot 0 of 6 against the Bucks in a game 7 of the playoffs. Kyrie and Harden's hamstring is not the reason why he couldn't even capitalize on Kyrie dropping 37 in game 1, as he was having the worst series of his entire career. The fact of the matter is, you can look at Kyrie all you want, but if you want to blame anybody for KD's own situation that led to him demanding a trade, there's only one man that you can be blaming, and that is Kevin Durant himself. You left a good situation to build your legacy and you failed. And if KD actually goes back to the Golden State Warriors, because trust me, that is a possibility, and I don't see any way for him to ever sniff my top 10 players of all time. And he probably doesn't care, let's be honest. But in conclusion, I want to leave you guys with one question, because now that it looks like his time in Brooklyn has come to an end, I want to know, do y'all believe he made the right decision to go to the Golden State Warriors? And if so, let me know down below why or why not in the comment section, because I genuinely believe he did make the right decision, but it is really tough to now look at how things have transpired after and even before he went there and say that his legacy is kind of a sham with those championships to an extent. And if that's the case, how much of a sham are those rings towards his legacy? I really hate having to rewrite players' legacies, because at the end of the day, you earned what you got. I still do believe he earned those championships. He put in the work for it. But unfortunately, every single bad thing that could have went wrong for Kevin Durant has gone wrong for Kevin Durant after he left the Golden State Warriors. LeBron won a championship, Giannis won a championship and beat you in the way of doing so, and now Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors have won a championship, beating the team in 6 games that swept you in the first round, with you having the worst playoff series of your entire career. But make sure you check out my second channel. I'm gonna be dropping some trade destinations for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, because we know he's out of there also. I'm gonna make sure I have a little bit of fun, because there's a lot of scenarios for either of them to go to this offseason. Also, go check out the latest episode of Hoop Concessions. We reacted to the Kevin Durant trade request, and we talked about day 1 of free agency news in real time. It was a great episode. You don't want to miss out on it. But that wraps up this video. This is your boy Young Mustard signing out. Y'all stay safe and have a blessed day. Peace.